Hello everybody on YouTube and welcome to Feedback Friday number 17 or 18 or something like that. I don't know anymore and I wish I did because it's making it difficult for me and I'm getting them wrong when I actually name them on YouTube now. So, but something like 17 or 18. Something like that. Welcome to Feedback Friday a lot. This is a live stream I do on Fridays, clue in the name, where we give feedback, clue in the name, to games made by you. You can drop in usually around any time between 1 to UK time when I start these streams on a Friday, and you can submit a link, and if you submit a link, we play your game. We usually get it, well, if you can submit a link in time, we play your game. We usually get about 10 in. Today we've started, we're going to do 7. We're going to do these 7 games. And we're going to try and give whatever useful or intelligent feedback I think I can give. Okay? Some games will be more useful than others, depending where they are. We play all variety of games, all manner of games. Doesn't matter how good they are, how finished they are. As long as they're at a point where you think, for whatever reason, my feedback could be helpful, and I will do my best to scale it and make it relative to, you know, wherever I think you are in your game development career. Often I'm actually better at giving feedback to games that are less completed, on more lower skill level, I guess. So if you feel anxious on that regard, honestly, my feedback's probably more helpful to you than people who have made really high quality commercial things where it becomes a bit more difficult like, to give good or useful feedback sometimes. For me, I find just rating my own feedback there. But we try and be useful no matter what. And today we're starting off with a game from Holtzy in the chat called Ted and the Bleeds of Doom, which has got some kind of like James Bond style thing with scrolly blood. I don't know what this game is. It looks kind of Zelda Binding of Isaac, so let's see what it be. I'm not going to pay $2 for it. I am just going to download it because that's how we do on this stream. And I'm going to put it in my ever-growing, where is it? Ever-growing folder of viewer games. Which has about a lot of games in it now. And we're going to extract it. And we're going to play it. Windows is going to protect my PC, and I'm going to say, no, I'm relatively confident this is not a virus. And then the game will work. Now, a smart person might have read the instructions, or have read some kind of detail on what this game is or how to play it. I don't do that. Well, I sometimes do, but I generally rely on the game itself to tell me how to play it. We've got a menu, somewhat inspired, I think, by the general tutorials I give on how to do menus. You can see that, the arrow and stuff in the font. The thing is, when I did that tutorial with the platformer where I show you how to do menus, just this whole like drawing like an arrow in the text thing was like a quick, nice way to doesn't read instructions or the chat. What's going on in the chat? Post chat. Oh my god, losers. Alright. Post jam. Version 0.3.1's got all the bug fixes apparently. Alright. What was I gonna say? Now you've thrown me off by making me actually get the right version, you scumbags. Got the splash screen. Anyway, what I was saying, in that tutorial, it's like a quick way to do menus, and it worked well in that tutorial because I was using a small pixel art font in the corner, and the sort of ASCII arrow to the right, whatever you actually call that character, I don't know, works well in that scenario. I don't think it works well when you're making a bigger menu and you're using a bigger font and that kind of thing. You can see, look, it looks a little bit messy. I don't think you need the arrow, right? Like, if you're going to do some sort of pointer thing, I think you want something a bit more high, not HD is the wrong wrong word, but you know, like a proper icon or something to point towards it, right? But I think you could have gotten away here with just a highlight, honestly. I don't think you needed the arrows in here. The only reason I'm pointing this out is because I know it's like a thing from my tutorials, right? It's like, that's how that was done. I like these characters. They're kind of cool, and the art seems like large. I can't really tell with these blades. I want to get one on screen. They're moving quite quickly. It's a little roughly drawn, but it's consistent style-wise. Oh, that was quite the sound effect. Okay, so we got a timer which gives me a vague sense of anxiety and an impetus to move, even though it's counting up, so I think that's fine. I'm going to turn this down a little bit and also cut my... This sounds like something from Chill Hub Radio. Did you make this music? Disc Room Jam, I see. Disc Jam even, or whatever they called it. Well, I like that you've just taken the things from my tutorials as well and just be like, let's repurpose that into new games. You know, this is what it's all about. This is what you should get out of doing my tutorials in a way, is learning how to do things. Like, and... That sounds so stupid and obvious, but hopefully you know what I mean. Like, learning how to create specific things and learning patterns that you can then reuse in different circumstances. So you can see here, Holtzy's reused the menu thing from my platformer series. He's also kind of reused the way we do text boxes. The thing is, both of those things in that tutorial have room for improvement, especially when brought to other games. So you want to then start looking at like, is this the best thing to use here? But especially for a jam as well, like, you know, you have a method to get that thing done. Just reuse it. Just reuse it. Which is good. I like to see it. And it's nice to see like people realizing that they don't need an entirely new tutorial now to get them to go on to do. I'm gonna restart the game because he had a bunch of seemingly important text. But it's good to see people using those things to then create a different genre of game. You know, that means you're learning from the tutorial what you're supposed to learn from the tutorial. You may be taking things like a little too directly sometimes, but like actually using those things again is good because it's done the same way. Hello, I'm Splux. You use arrows to move around. You can dash by pressing space. You can spin block by pressing shift. Okay. Space and shift. Dash space, spin shift. M to bring up a mini map. Use leaves to buy upgrade. Have fun. Okay. Interesting little mini map there. I wonder how you did that. In a few ways. It's like, it's not very clean, but like it's something, you know? Shift. Spin block? Is that the term you want for that? I don't know. Dash just goes in the direction we last faced. So when you give tutorial text like that, like there was a non-zero chance. In fact, I pretty much did it last time, right? Well, I just walk past, that box comes up, then it goes down, and I'm like, oh, what did that say? And I come back, and it's gone. Right, so you probably want that to just still be there at the start each time, right? There's not really a reason to make it like go away forever on this guy. It's not like I need this space on the screen for anything else in this particular room, right? Anyway, we got some life, we got some leaves, we got some rotation, and people might be like, oh, mixels, and so on with like the spinning things and the rotating things. I don't really mind that. I don't really mind rotation as long as you make that part of the style, you know? And the style here so far is like, there's a lot of empty space in it, like with the solid color. I think when you've got quite detailed, like your detail level is actually quite high here on like this guy and on everything, right? The detail level is kind of high because the resolution is kind of high. So that draws attention to areas of flat color in a big way. It works with this little rug over here, I think, because it's quite a small space. But like this, just the plain background really stands out, and it makes it look like a big void, almost. You know, like it really like separates it out, like it's on this like total other layer. It can almost make it look like this guy's standing on like a floating disc in the middle, right? Like over a void of just empty space. Okay, so your timer is overlapping this message. Small issue there. Who's left behind? Block speed up. Okay, we cost 3 leaves by block speed up. Oh, and that leaves ooze. Okay, I think I get the idea. Sugar and spice dash distance up. Can't afford it. Life +2. Not sure what the theme is on these upgrades. But there's a bit of weirdness in moving between them as well here. X appears to be the button to do that for some reason. Shift and space do everything else, but X apparently is buying things. It's not a big deal. These skeletons have collision? I don't think these needed collision. Does quite a big collision there. I get it. Maybe you just didn't want to have to make you actually walk into them, kind of thing. Transition would have been good. I know it's like, especially if the hitbox is going to be that big, because it can lead to you very accidentally being like, whoa, right? You may do a quick transition, right? You don't want to spend ages like slowly between rooms. But like, yeah, that's very commonly the case. Transition being on a list of stuff not getting done. But it should be higher up the list. Is what I'm saying. And the shell hums with a special power block dash. Like, as cool as those little skeletons are, and the time spent drawing them, maybe that time could have been reallocated to doing a transition between the rooms. You know, like, roughly, maybe someone else did the art. I don't know, right? You know, but you know what I mean. Can't afford that. That's many leaves. I have 0 leaves. Oh god! And suddenly violence. Okay. If I go into the block, does that make me... Oh yeah, I can bounce those around. Interesting. Doors are closed until we kill everything. Okay, so do I not actually damage things and I have to knock them into the spinny blades? Yeah, that's a big issue when you've got no transition coming in and no, like, pause at the start. You're instantly kicked into action, and things like that can happen when I'm just taken by surprise. So that, like, that should have been a huge priority. It should have been, like... Everything just costs loads of money. I don't actually remember what that even did. I'm not sure where the leaves thing has come from. It was part of some conceptual thing in your idea generation process that's like, well, we have to use leaves in some way or something. Honestly, so far, it's feeling a little extraneous, like it feels like I'm getting a fixed amount of leaves from each room, right? That's just kind of random, and there's not really a way for me to get more or less, like if I do better or worse in a room, as far as I can tell. And we've got loads of these rooms where I can buy things. Not very many rooms where I'm actually, like, doing the main thing of the game, which is the spinny blades, right? It's just another one. Like Hermes boots, but... Well, actually, I'll take that. And there, I just instantly spawn on a dude and took damage, right? That's big problem. Oh no. What's the tilt? Oh, did I crash? Is it crashed? Might have crashed. There might be some while loop going on here. Does happen. That's what happened. We take games of all points of development. Sometimes they crash. That's a matter of. That's just how it be. So. I think maybe I got like stuck in a blade or something that like wasn't moving, and I was like trying to bounce it because it feels like you can sort of go through them sometimes. Yeah, I could see there being some room for crashes with the collision system. I want to bounce it the other way. Well, I'm spinning. Oh, I was spinning all these blades directly into them, but they're just not dying. So I'm like, yeah, I'm getting a fixed number. There's nothing I can do to perform better and get more leaves, so the leaves are kind of extraneous to your upgrade system. Like, the leaves work as a thing if you, if there's a way for you to use skill in some way to get more of them, but you just get the same number just by continuing to survive. So, other than as like a choice, a mechanism to create choice, which is, again, it's not something that's needed for, it's not that interesting, and what possibly would be more interesting would just be to provide you with a choice of upgrades now and again, and you get one of them. But you can only pick one at a time, that sort of thing. Simpler to do, and probably of more value. Too many empty rooms. Too many empty rooms, and too many upgrade rooms. This time we haven't seen as many upgrade rooms. But I mean, that's proc gen stuff. But, it cost 18? Did I die and just keep all of the leaves I had? I don't know how that works, but like 38. Oh no, I'm on like the next level or something, aren't I? It's like, you don't want like huge map, like these are like, if you think of like a Binding of Isaac map, like these are quite a bit bigger than those maps usually would be. And it's like, it's easy to think like, oh well, we ran out of time and stuff with so many things, but like, the things I'm getting at here are things where you should have spent your time instead, right? A simpler upgrade system, I think that's just like, every now and again you're presented with 3 of those upgrades and you get to pick one of them, and you get it for free, so that, and then you don't have to, nothing has to drop leaves, you don't have to worry about how many leaves you get, you don't have to think about like how that distribution is going to work or be balanced throughout the levels, because you've massively simplified it, especially since once you've added all that with the leaves, they're not adding anything. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, downward, like, I'm not suggesting something here that's unique by any means. I'm suggesting something that's been widely done lots of times, but for a good reason. Oh wait, did I just come away from the ending? Talking so much, I'm just not paying attention. But I'm just sort of buying every upgrade I can get now. Just see if I can get to the end of here. Because I'm confused. Oh! I thought I was up here, but maybe I just got confused about what direction I was going in. Yeah, that definitely hit him. What's with the collision on these spinny blades, man? They're just not hitting the enemy! Because there's so many times where you feel like, oh, I didn't have time to do all the things I wanted, but there's so much time you could have saved. And been able to do more stuff, so I don't know what the deal is with this guy. We just had to wait for these. I mean, also the game in general is just walk towards things and press shift. I'm not gonna lie. There's like some dodging and stuff to do, but it's like, I can press this so often that I'm not really timing it. There is like this brief period of vulnerability. I get like near there. So I am taking damage and stuff. And sometimes the blades just disappear for no reason. Like, the rules are not... The collision and rules are just not wholly clear. I think it might just be dodgy collision, but... I'm not wholly sure. How dead is this boss? Oh, there's a bar at the bottom and he is not very dead. Not sure why I would ever use the dash. Which again, if it's not clear why it's useful, you need to add it, or would have saved time. Which can be took, because it's like, you know, you might have thought that would be more useful than it is. You know, game dev's an iterative process. Easy to say from afterwards, like, oh, this isn't useful. You shouldn't have put this in, but hard to know that until you've done it. Until you get more experience. Kinda just want to kill the boss, I want to see what happens. Now, you probably spent a lot of time on this boss as well, but how many players get to see it? There's no more blades left. I need blades to be able to do anything. Blades should be constantly spotted. There should be more blades than anything else, I think, generally, right? I haven't played this room yet, but I'm probably just gonna end up telling you to do whatever's in that. Who probably played this room. Well, I think we're gonna win. Shouldn't say that, should I? Yay, Rufus the Terrible. Thank you for playing, press off. Get all these leads. Alt C and Cavedens. Nice. So yeah, all in all, style was consistent, so good job with that. I think your background being totally blank, therefore it jars from the art style a bit. Just because you actually pick, like, even though it's like pixel art, you've actually, knowingly or not, gone for actually quite high resolution pixel art. Like, you've got a lot of pixels here. But you went for like, you went for this size, you went for hard black outlines, and you stuck to it. So that's good. I don't think it necessarily looks great, but it is consistent, which is work in and of itself. The only place you didn't do that was in the blood, and I think that works, because it's like a different layer. The as I said, I think the solid grey background is the worst part of the art style overall. And it just kind of makes everything else look like it's sitting in a weird depth from it. Still a cute shadow effect going on as well. Doesn't seem to be any menu or anything like that. In terms of the game, generally level has too many rooms. Too many empty rooms. You don't want any empty rooms, really. You want every room to serve some kind of purpose. Either it's a fight or it's an upgrade. You know, if you want there to be 5 fights and then a boss, you just make the level 5 rooms long, you know? It doesn't need to have loads of extraneous space and up, down, left, right, or whatever. But well done on making like a thing that's like a stitched together. I've never even done that before, so... There's a lot, yeah, there's a lot of good here. It's just... You need transitions between the rooms. You need to be careful about coming into the room and starting and like suddenly just in a position where you're already doomed to take damage. That's not going to feel very fair or fun. The leaves system was kind of a waste of time. You could have just had upgrades that you picked between, or even just giving one occasional upgrade. Even that would be better, you know, even though it doesn't provide you with much choice. In the end, it was just to get a bunch of leaves, buy all the upgrades. I wasn't even looking at what they did. For a certain length of time. Something's gone weird with the timer there, but whatever, we'll close it now. So, yeah. Less empty rooms, less upgrade rooms. Do something with the leaf system. Either make it so that the way you get leaves is more interesting, and there's something that you have to, you know, you're only going to get more leaves if you either take more risks or you do something better. You know, things like that are actually going to make it like a risk reward situation or a skill reward situation, you know, so that there's a point. And then you get those leaves, and then you get to decide how to spend them on rewards. That's fine. Or simpler, get rid of them. Just pick between some cool upgrades. Cool. I don't know. In terms of the actual like, yeah, the moment to moment play of like the turtle like doing his spin. Cool. Now, like that's something you might want to investigate, but honestly, I think the first thing you want to do is get the collisions all sorted out, because they're all over the place. You know, like it wasn't even clear what the rules of the game were, because like it looked like a blade. You could see blades physically go right through an enemy and not do anything. Maybe it is maybe it's damaging it in a way I can't see. Maybe I don't know. I don't understand. So I need to understand. So the collision need to be sorted out. There's stuff I can say about the boss fight, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, like if the game is about just blocking blades and knocking them into other things, then the game is about like timing pressing the button when the blade hits, like is coming towards you and bouncing them away, right? What you could, I suppose, do in that situation is do a lethal league type thing, whereby the blade is in like a state of either killing you or killing an opponent at any point in time, and when you hit it with your blocky thing, it swaps it to the other one, you know? And then the enemies have just like a chance to knock the blade back into the enemy, into the you killing state, and then it's like coming towards you, so it's kind of like that like back and forth thing, until like they eventually die or whatever. There's a few things you could do to make that more interesting, but I think before you really get anywhere with it, I think just the collisions need to be spot on. In terms of just I've gone over the procedural stuff with the upgrades enough, but yeah. there's a lot that could be done with the gameplay stuff. Just experiment with it. I don't want to prescribe something to you of like, you go make the game like this. You know, there's a million ways I could tell you, like, here's how you could do it, but I don't want to do that because I feel that you would just go away and do that, rather than just iterating upon it and seeing what interesting things you could come up with, right? So, yeah, keep it up. That was cool. Yeah, good job. And now that we've played the game from Holtzy and Cavedens, we have the game from Cavedens. Found it. Well, I just pasted the Steam link into Google. Let's. Oh, into my URL bar rather. Same thing. Fleet Scrapper, you say? I wonder if this is going to crush my internet connection again, as Steam keys have maybe not actually done, but supernaturally seem to. 278 meg! Uh-oh. I'm scared. I'm watching my frames dropped. Stop downloading Civ 6. Or updating Civ 6. Is it Civ 6 update? There's Pirates multiplayer? Sorry guys, BRB, we're gonna go play... Hype for that, I'll read more about that in a bit. Just get me some Fleet Scrapper, where my dropped frames are not going up, so that's good. Man, I'm thinking back to my old 4G internet connection, now looking at this, and I'm like, whew, it's good to be back in what passes for modern times in the UK. Creatorship games. Fleet Scrapper. The irony. Ugh, excuse me. Okay. That is doing something, but there's no feedback on me actually clicking this other than obviously the sound itself going down. There's feedback on me hovering it in that it scales a little, but it scales and also blurs. Can I do a... yeah. Like, you see that? Like, you've literally just taken the image and scaled it up a little, right? So it's like, oh, I don't know, you're drawing it stretched or something? I don't know what you're doing, but it's blurring it, which is... It's not really the kind of artwork you want to scale. Consider an outline or something like that. I played Disco Elysium? Yeah, I have. It's really good. I like that. Like, this style's kind of nice. But then this is a different style, and this is a bit of a different style, and this is a bit of a different style, and this is... It's not looking super coherent so far. Bit of, like, you got a bit of a palette thing going. There's a lot of incoherentness here. Yeah, you need some feedback on actually pressing those buttons. Hover state is good, but you need a press state, right? Preferably also a press sound as well. You got a hover sound. Easy, normal, hard, rogue. I'm guessing rogue is the hardest, but it's a little... So it's a weird term for that. Go normal. Yeah, so you've got an issue here with, like, I think maybe just interpolation. You see how, like, blurred the font is at the bottom? See how blurred the spaceship is at the top? And if you're using pixel art, you definitely don't want that to be the case. And this also looks to be the default Game Maker font. Let's run in. Like, this is not a good font. In any style, really. It's pretty much intentionally, like... I'm pretty sure I heard either Mike or Russell at some point say that the reason this font is in Game Maker is to encourage you to change it. Like, there was I think it's a stupid reason, but it was one of the actual reasons given for why Game Maker has that stupid font as its default. And not a better font. It's because they were worried that if they had a better font, people wouldn't change away from that font. And I think this game is evidence to the contrary. Yeah, so the art's all over the place here, right? You've got some rectangular stars. Okay, I should probably stop doing my zoom in since it's not gonna like it. Is it gonna like it? Hang on. Oh, for some reason it alt tabs whenever I come back. Let me try something. I like being able to zoom. Okay, this works a bit better. I'll try this one more often. And I can move the mouse and do stuff as well. But yeah, like... this looks quite nice in and of itself. Like, the art isn't bad there. The art of the stars is bad. You can't have rectangular stars. This probably isn't bad at resolution, but it's all blurred and scaled weirdly. The art itself is probably fine, but what you've got going on here is really weirdly scaled. Like, you can't really tell. Like, it's pixel art, but all the pixels are blurred together, you know, the resolution's totally off. Might be something of an issue with me on my higher res monitor. Yeah, using this font is, like, inexcusable. And then you got, like, this down here, which is a totally different other style, and again, it's just scaled weirdly. I like this, like, box that you've got for the dialogue. It's a cool box, but again, it's scaled weirdly and blurred. Can't do it. Please go. I should have actually read that as well. I didn't read that first box. Please get dressed quickly. We have work to do. I don't want to hear any excuses about a major concussion today. I still can't compute how you managed to give their crew time to evacuate and sabotage the Flotsam Paradise. We're in quite the predicament now. You can tell from the look on your face you may still have some memory loss. Oh, I see. The Flotsam Paradise is the ship we are meant to take over for salvaging purposes. The company doesn't tolerate extended delays, you all know. Unfortunately, since you failed to make a rudimentary boarding, this is home for the time being. Our boarding ship's long-range capabilities have been compromised, so we're stuck here until we repair the Flotsam Paradise. View. Energy signatures in the system look potentially here. Too much text. I'm not clear enough on what's going on. You need to find a way to get these ideas across in a quicker, simpler way, I think. I'm not saying like the story is necessarily too complex. And it's definitely a matter of like when I'm streaming and thinking of other things in my head, it can be hard for me specifically to digest longer text, whereas a normal player might digest it better. I'll lead each world to your less potential. Okay. Here's the training room. This is a training exercise. Corona time? Time? What's time? Hull strength. Okay. This is sort of an asteroidsy thing. Origin is off-center on the spaceship. like I'm rotating around like the thruster. It's probably not the way you want to rotate. Can I go through here? No, I absolutely cannot. Okay. I like the art on this guy. He looks weirdly familiar. I feel like he's based on something I'm aware of. I don't know. Good art though. Again, it's all ruined by the scaling. So everything just looks awful because of the scaling. But the art itself, the actual underlying pixel by pixel art is good. Still inconsistent, even if it wasn't scaled all weirdly and all over the place. But that's always the upsetting thing, is when you can see artistic talent, but with just no eye for composition and scale and so on. Oh, now I'm back to clicking, so I'm using keyboard to play the game and mouse to do this. Unless there's a button I haven't noticed. Okay. Asteroid arrival. And this is like a whole different style of... Yeah, these stars should not be rectangular. And like this one like goes off center at the end of its animation slightly. So does it? Oh no, it doesn't. It just like folds back in on itself slightly. It's a weird animation. Just go simple. Just dots. Fine with just pixels. Off center was intentional design. Okay. This is nearby asteroids I'm getting a reading from. Right, so you're trying to make it so it's like it. Yeah, I don't think that really works. And also just not how it would work. Even if rotation is going to come from the back. Like you would still rotate, the ship would still rotate around its center of gravity, especially in a 0G situation like that. Like there's no... I don't think, from my limited understanding of physics, there's a way to make a ship that's like, say, like this thing that rotates like that around like the back, unless the thrusters were coming from actually the side or the front. That's when that would happen. Like if there was, like if this was coming along and the thrusters were coming out of here, that would cause it to turn like that, right? Gather the parts. Okay. That's really all I needed to know. Everything else is unnecessary. Oh, holding left mouse makes it scroll faster. That's a nice touch. Kind of wanted to scroll even faster though. Oh. Yeah, that just doesn't make sense at all. Especially because your thrusters are like on those... should work like an X-wing almost. Like they're on like the wings. I like that they light up on the front and the back when you're going front and back. But yeah, it makes no physical sense that it would turn like that. Just say it's a magic ship. No, just move the origin to the middle of the ship. That's what you just do. If you're looking for a just do X, you just move the origin to the middle of the ship. So weird. In spite of that, the movement itself isn't like terrible. What's colliding like? Colliding's pretty terrible. Yeah, it doesn't like even kick you out properly. So you kind of want to like knock you away so you're not stuck in it going like vibrating for ages. Doing a little screen shake is fine, but I think more of just an impact would be good rather than this like. But it might just be still learning how to deal with collisions in different ways. It can be tricky. This big pixel art here with like big chunky pixels, totally different style and resolution on the screen, suddenly no blur. Where are these parts I'm gonna be collecting? Oh, is that what these are? Oh no, that's just opening this door or whatever, right? It's cute how they go towards the door. That's quite a nice touch. Shows me where I actually need to be going next. God, even the ship art is scaled weirdly. And there's a part, right? That's what we're actually here for. A multitronic tellurium array. It's not space physics either. Not how it works. If anything, like the center would be further towards the front, right? It wouldn't be. It'd be in the center. Alright, I think I've seen enough of this. It's just like, just moving around, dude. Is there any more to it? Speed and maneuvering. Kind of just like a racing through this little maze type of game. Look at all these different ships. It's cool. How do I get out of it? Oh, do I have to actually pick one, right? Yeah, a lot of issues. A lot of just artistic issues. The game is fine. There's like not a whole lot to it, but it's fine. It's not super interesting. There's not a whole lot there and so on. I question your decision to pay $100 and put this on Steam. I get the idea that maybe you want a lot of people to like see and play and get feedback and so on. I recommend itch.io. I recommend sharing it in communities like this. Sinking $100 to stick this on Steam doesn't to me feel like the best investment. The feedback from players as well. I don't know. Unless you're good at filtering it, can be somewhat low quality. Yeah, they are, like, artistically it's all over the place. There's just no coherence. There's like a million and one styles that are all independently fine, but nothing has been committed to. You pick one, commit to it, actually make it look good. The ship origin should be in the center. Like, even if physically it should be maybe slightly somewhere else, it should be in the center in order to play the game and have the game feel good. The game feeling good takes priority. And for what it's worth, it shouldn't be anywhere else. It should actually just be in the center. A bit too much text and exposition of stuff for a game that's actually just really simple and just about just driving through an obstacle course. Just get me to the obstacle course. Say our ship is in danger and we need to find the parts to retrieve it. Go. There you go, that's all I need to know. The rest, cut all of it out. I know there was a lot of work going on, a pretty big avatar on the text thing, but you're not making a graphic novel. Or if you are making a graphic novel, you don't need the spaceship part. They don't really blend that well together. People keep trying to blend these like big, huge talking character thing with million text boxes into like weird, small, simple action games, and they don't really blend that well. I don't get why people keep doing it. Different things for different. It's rare I'm gonna want both of those things at the same time, right? If I want a graphic novel, I'll go play one. If I want an action game, I'll go play one. I don't. Both doesn't really work in my opinion. For me, it doesn't really work. I don't find that Venn diagram has a big overlap. Both in my when I want to play a game and what I think would be commercially appealing to a lot of people. That's about all I have to say about that one. But nonetheless, well done making it. Thinking about making part 2. If you're making part 2, cut all the story. All of it. All of it, other than maybe a scene that vaguely explains the context, and I mean vaguely, in the sense of literally maybe having about 2 text boxes that says, like, we need stuff to fix the thing. Go get the thing. Basically, just on every level, artistically, design-wise, everything, just decide what the game is. I feel like, I don't know, maybe you have some grand vision of something in your head, but it feels like you actually have several visions. And you're going with whatever, you're developing based on whatever you think is cool in the moment and putting it all into one game. That's the dream, to be able to do that, because then you're always motivated all the time because you're always doing something that you think is cool, and it's like starting a new game constantly while making a game, but you need a focus, which is hard. Sometimes it's hard to work on PokeyPoke when all I'm thinking about is how much I love RPGs or whatever, But the worst thing I could do is then start putting those ideas into PokeyPoke. Even if it would be very fun to try. Thank you nonetheless, Cavedens. Good luck with it. Yeah, it's not even always about simplifying, it's just about focusing, right? Ideas can be complex and focused, they're not, those two things aren't exclusive. I don't know, but it's a thing I made several years ago when I was bored one weekend, so yeah, I haven't played it recently, but I remember making it. Oh yeah, I remember it was the weekend I had just started learning Python. Also, please be on the lookout within the next few years for a game I'm making in GMS2, and we'll be publishing on here and on Steam in all caps. Here's the link to the Discord server that will be deleted when it's published. That was quite a wild ride. Vegancube. Okay. This is almost suspicious. But I'm gonna decide to trust it. Trusting it less. Okay, press enter after each line. But just make sure not to skip question. Okay, well, what's this? Let's pick it up. So when there is a colon or a question mark, make sure to type a response. What is your name? Sean JS. That's my actual name. When I was born, my mother looked at me and said, "We're gonna call him Sean JS." Hello, Sean JS. Press enter. Okay. I think like it was. I mean, you already said press enter after each line. I feel like you didn't need to repeat that, but that's fair enough. Let's add number. Okay. Uh. 9 million plus 9 million. Okay. Subtract number. Oh, okay. I see. And subtract. Is this literally just like an example of things you've done in Python? Multiply. Number, 10. Oh, hang on. Is this like... Oh. Oh, was that the end? I think it did an error because I didn't type anything in. Let's make it... There we go. Make sure not to skip questions or it'll crash. Her name not mine. To replace. Enter a thing. The thing. Potato. For a different thing. Tomato. Are you ready? No. No. Doesn't matter. Oh, God. Scrolling, though. Alright, I have to keep making it small. Alright. Went to the thing. Sean went to the Twitch to get their potato, but found a tomato instead. Was that funny? No. I don't actually care, but goodbye, for real. Thank you. Any last words? Not really. But wait, there's more. Not sure where the next game is. Oh my god. You need to make it so it's scrolled. Do you even want to play another game? Yes. Very enthusiastic. Just come back when you're bored, okay? You know, I'm just a computer. And I just do what I'm told. But what would happen if I didn't? I will leave think on that. Can I just ask, did I have fun? Yes. I already said. I did too. Do you want to start over? Do it again? No. Goodbye. Okay. That was, in fact, as advertised, a thing. You want feedback on that? I was 10. Yeah, good. Well done. That's the sort of thing I'd have made when I was 10, probably. You learn it, yeah, learning a programming language especially, and you made a thing. It was just stuff. I don't really have anything to say about it, because you made it when you were 10, and it's mostly just hey, look, I can make a thing in command. I can make a command line thing. If I were to, for some reason, give serious feedback, which is pointless, but let's do it anyway. It should scroll so I don't have to keep like zooming out and needing a bigger and bigger monitor to see more and more things. It didn't seem to scroll properly, and it shouldn't crash if I fail to give it numbers. It should probably just assume 0 for the number, or assume something. But I don't think feedback on that is particularly valuable. But it's an interesting artifact nonetheless to say like this is the type of thing to make when like these things are like, that's what I was saying about like, you know, my CD full of like old stuff made in like click and play. It's interesting because it reminds you that you've actually been doing this stuff longer than you think, and you know, like a lot of this sort of stumbling around and just making weird things like this is part of what leads you to, in the end, being able to solve and skip over a lot of the early amateur problems with making games. A lot of the more obvious problems that I keep pointing out, that some people just seem like they never struggled with. So a lot of those people, myself included, made all those mistakes, just they made them in weird, half-completed, stupid things when they were kids and already learned from it, you know? Anyway, thanks for whatever that was. Now moving on to TBD by borislimbas, a simple tower defense work in progress. I don't know if I should continue. It's a simple tower defense game. Okay. Don't know if I'll continue this game. It's just a prototype and it's placeholder art because I'm a horrible artist. Well, don't tell me that. Also, this game is unbalanced. I think I'm not good at playtesting. There's only 1 level and 3 turrets. Turret 1, cheap, medium charge. Turret 2, medium price, good for. Turret 3, expensive. So, I mean, playtesting isn't the only thing. Like, actually trying to balance, like, a tower defense thing. Like, in theory, you can do it with just numbers. Well, no, okay, not just numbers, but like, you can do the best way to start is with the numbers, you know? Being mindful of where, like, things that are obviously, like, strictly better are and so on. Options does nothing, okay? Things bigger. Play. Press. Okay. So I'm guessing this is the costs of things. Not sure what the plus button does yet, but we'll find out. Maybe it's lives or something. So I'm naturally just going to try and place these things where they have the most coverage. So far, these turrets seem strong enough. So the main thing you want here is for me to be able to work out if it might be worth building this tower. I just know that it costs more and presumably is stronger. It has very short range, whatever it is. This has very long range. So far, nothing about to get past these these two towers. Okay, let's get a bit further. So you got the basic progression stuff here, but you need to show me some numbers. You need to show me like in some way as well. You don't necessarily need to do it with actual numbers. Maybe you can use bars and things like that. And there's arguments for being more and less vague, but this is it's too opaque. Okay? What I mean by that is, like, I don't know how much damage I'm doing to these things until they're dead, right? Like, you can kind of just sort of vaguely work out how many shots things are taking to die and stuff like that. It seems like they're getting more health over time and also get faster. So what do I need to do in order to fight that? I can't really make any informed decision. I'm just guessing. I'm just like, well, maybe this costs more and therefore it's better. I don't know. Let's buy some of these. I don't know. Is this plus? Not sure what the plus does, but oh, maybe it doesn't do anything yet. Because at the end of the day, a game like this is just it's wholly about efficiency, right? They're just efficiency puzzles. And it's like, so you got to be vague to some degree, because if I know everything and the game is too simple, I can just work it out. I can just be like, what's the most, like, you've got 3 types of towers and they're all basically do the same thing. What's the most cost-effective damage? Buy lots of that tower. Done. Right? But that's where you start to mix it up with different effects that are a bit harder to calculate. Things that, like, cause slows, things that cause damage over time, enemies that behave in different ways. Maybe some are slower, but they have more health than enemies that maybe go really fast, enemies that ignore certain effects. You know, you put in these variables to be able to make it more of an interesting puzzle for the player to solve what the most cost-efficient thing is to buy. Because that is the game. The game is, what do I spend my money on in the most cost-effective way? And so far, it seems like I can just do this, right? So, I mean, yeah, there's other things I could talk about here. Like, you've got weird, inconsistent art style of, like, pixels, and then also vector art. Like that's as inconsistent as it gets. But honestly, like, whatever with that stuff. Like, I think at this point, I won't worry too much about that. And focus on getting the core tower defense thing to be fun and playable. You can always change how it looks. You can't put the tower on top of another tower, no. It goes like dark red and shows you that you can't, which is good. But yeah, things like tooltips, just more information about the towers, how fast they shoot, how much damage they do, that kind of thing. The more data you can provide, the better, I think. But then, in order to stop it just being instantly solved, you do need to mix it up with other effects. Because if it is just 3 types of tower and the only variability between them is cost, damage, range, and speed, those 4 factors are very easy for someone to game out and be like, this is the best one. And it's like, oh, what if I make them all the same? Like, they balance them out so they're all equally cost efficient, which you can kind of do. And range blurs the line a bit there. But the better thing to do is just keep adding more types of stuff. Doesn't normally go. Sort of more like that can be interesting as a thing for later levels and so on. I think just a basic level like this is fine as the first level of your game or whatever. If you have different maps and things like that, that's definitely an idea. But Yeah, like the obvious thing here is like it's obviously imbalanced to the point where I'm gonna get way too much money and just and yeah, end up in a situation like this where the enemy just can't possibly hope to outscale me. Probably will over time. You can see them getting slightly further and further forwards because I'm guessing this just scales infinitely, right? So in the end, I'm probably doomed because I can only fit so many towers on the screen that can actually hit the track. Which is like this interesting game of what is the most cost, what can push it the absolute furthest. That's an interesting puzzle in and of itself. But there's just not enough elements to play with, right? That's the long and short of it here. There's not enough puzzle pieces to play with, and when you've got lots more puzzle pieces, then you can make it harder. So then it becomes like less of like, look, see, they're scaling crazy. Like, oh, well, they all died on that last shot. More turrets. Oh, the screen shake. Alerta. Does this do something now? Oh yeah, I just repaired it. And showing hit points on the door. Okay. Well, that's what it looks like when you lose. But yeah, yeah, it needs more information about the towers, but then I get the feeling with the towers that exist, that's not going to be enough to then make it interesting. You need to then um add other stuff that the towers can do, maybe slowing effects, damage over time, that kind of thing. A million and one different things. Look to other tower defenses for inspiration. Like it's a well-worn genre. And then yeah, you want to balance it to the point where it just feels fun. Don't worry about too much about too difficult or too easy. It's fine for it to scale off into infinity. Because the joy is in trying to make it like see how far you can get. Right? That's a perfectly fine way to do fence game. But you want the interesting puzzle to last as long as you can, right? Okay, good luck with that. I do always like playing a bit of tower defense. Well, my camera is all over the place though. I think it's over adjusting because it's getting dark in here. Yeah, I turn the light on and my face gets darker. It's not crazy adjusting for the light, and the frame rate gets better and everything. Okay, so we've got 3 more games to play. We got Jony's Radical Hiking from JDead404, a game where you shoot to jump. Let's investigate. Game Jolt. Been here in a while. We'll still upload the games to Game Jolt. Okay, Jony's rad mission. Let's just clear some of these folders every time. Can I full screen? No, I can't. Alright. But I can also press space to jump. Is it enough? It's enough. Oh, this is where I go. Kind of a downwell-like start. They take quite a lot of shooting. There's some nice stuff in the shooting here. Like there's like a muzzle flare, muzzle flash, whatever you want to call it. The projectile looks quite nice. It's got like an effect where it breaks up. Don't know why my ammo appears to be like infinite. Like I shoot and it goes from 7 out of 7 to 6 out of 7, then just instantly in the next frame it's full again. The shoot to jump thing doesn't seem to be a thing. What happens when I get this? Not sure what that did. Also have a double jump. But your numbers are a bit weird, and also the enemies had like no feedback on being hit. Health bar under me like this is kind of hard to see and read. The hand is moving very strangely. It's like the origin. The origin wants to be like on the hand probably, rather than I don't know where it is. Just looks very strange. This massive hand that's the size of his head that kind of like floats in this weird circle. I think it's kind of vaguely based. It must be based a bit on like my platformer, but with art that doesn't really fit it. But the style here at least is consistent enough. And if I hadn't read the whole a game where you shoot to jump, I might not have really worked out what the hell I'm supposed to do here, and I'm still not wholly sure. Whoa! Just not really sure what the best timing or whatever is to make that work in the best way. It's a little bit variable and weird. It looks like I'm meant to go further up here, but right up there. I feel like I'm just mashing the buttons. Like it's not really clear. Like pressing them at the same time doesn't really. Okay, that seems to be good. Jump, then shoot, then jump. Okay. Yeah, I know you want me to use the jump to shoot thing. In that case, why do I have a regular jump? Why not just have the shooting and the recoil thing? I get how like maybe you came up with this by following my tutorial, right? Because my tutorial shows you how to do recoil and shows you how to do it, like, and it has like an effect on the jumping and stuff. And so some people, quite a few people, have taken that to be like, oh, that's a mechanic, right? That's what my game's going to be about, like using the recoil to shoot, which is interesting. We'll see people play around with that. Shotgun. Looks like I've got the same weapon, but I don't know if I have to, I have the mouse wheel, okay. Oh, so it looked like the bullets were actually going down on this. Oh, they only go down in the air. Oh, it reloads when you touch the floor. I see. Weird though, because there's absolutely no way I'm going to use all 7 of these shots before I touch the floor, so it may as well be infinite. Yeah, no feedback on these at all. I don't know if I'm damaging them or anything. It wasn't clear initially that they weren't invincible. Your camera kind of starts off screen here as well. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, the jumping's a bit wild to control. It's like it's such an unsatisfying little. And this is what I was getting to before. I don't know if I finished making that point. Like, I get that you want the thing to be about the jumping and with the gun. In which case, why not make the recoil way stronger so that it's like a proper jump and actually just one shot like gets you high enough to do these things. Lower the ammo per jump to an amount that's actually impacts it. Like something like the shotguns that's 2. So it's not just like I'm gonna press it like a million and time it with the jumps and stuff as well. And you could also just get rid of jump then if like the recoil was good enough. Yeah, it's not fun. Like, it's fair enough saying like, oh, it needs good timing, but I'm just like, I can't really show you on the webcam, but like just like I'm just kind of mashing it at the moment. Like I can't. It's too much. It needs simplifying. And it's very unsatisfying to shoot these things because I'm not getting any feedback that they're being damaged other than every now and again one of them actually dies. It looks like I'm doing nothing. And then you get stuck on them and you can't move enough to actually get off them. You just get stuck in a weird loop. Oh my god, the single jump is so... Why is the single jump so terrible? Why does it exist? If it's gonna be that terrible. If it's gonna be that terrible, it shouldn't exist. There should be no jumping. You should only be able to jump via the recoil. That'd be more interesting. Oh my god. Oh, these do a thing. Do they? Or was that a coincidence? It's like when I shot myself into them, did it like... It looked like it like... It whizzed me in that particular direction. I don't know. It's not clear. The physics are all over the place with this. Sometimes they just give me no movement, and sometimes they give me like a ton. And it's not clear, it's not satisfying, and it's not fun. Like, you can have like it's a cool idea of like shooting to do recoil and stuff, but the execution here is just not good enough. Like, and I can't click, like, I can't full screen, and I can't click out the window either. So like, if I click here, like, I'm screwed, and I need to be able to aim down. Right, so if I shoot when I'm on this, it like does a thing and whizzes me in that direction. Okay, that was never explained, nor is it clear. It looked like it's just a signpost telling me where to go. Bunch of enemies that just kind of fall into a pit at the start there is a bit weird. I guess they're trying to do a thing where they... I guess you tried to write a thing where they'll try and jump over the edge, which is cool, because you've written the whole detecting... Try and jump on it, but sometimes I did jump on it and it didn't do anything. This whole... Also, it takes way too long to die when you fall off the bottom of the screen. Alright, I think I've seen... I think I get the idea. I like the art in general here. It's largely coherent. Which is like, you know, with every game, I feel like I comment on the coherentness of the art, but it is like a big thing. It's a big thing with amateur games in general, and it's appeared to have crashed when I tried to close it. These are both called Gaming Studio 2 games, so it was a toss-up there between whether I would close the process of my stream overlay or the game, but we got the right one. Yeah, the mechanic itself is like an interesting concept, but the execution is just so weak, and I need you to understand that. Like, that tiny jump feels so bad, and like each shot gives you just this tiny bit of recoil, and you can't fire fast. Like, if you could fire really quickly and like you could move around in that way, that'd be interesting, but it's just such a struggle to move. You don't want your game, like, you don't want your game about moving to be a struggle to move, you know? It's okay to say, oh, it's going to be hard and it's going to be tricky and so on. But the hard and tricky thing should come from navigating the environment, not just controlling the player. It just makes you feel hobbled. It like you see this simple looking level of I just have to get from here to here, like just over this like small gap, and that being such like jump, shoot down, it's like it shouldn't feel that hard, right? It feels like Feels a bit like QWOP if it were totally, like, tonally off, you know? Like, you can make a game about that kind of thing, where the point of the whole point of the game is the movement being a struggle. See QWOP, you know, and games like that. But I didn't feel like that's what that game was going for. Yeah, no, you're missing it. If it's like, you cannot, no, right? You cannot justify a control scheme like that with saying the game is meant to be challenging. You absolutely cannot. You need to get that idea and bin it right now. Okay? Absolutely cannot do that. This is what I was saying. I understand the desire for the game to be challenging, but you want to make the game challenging through other means, right? You can make, if you made, say the game allow you, say, this isn't the way I would do it, but say that your jump was way better and the gunshot or the recoil was way better, but maybe you could do it less times, okay? Maybe you only, I like, something I really do like is the idea of the reload when you touch the ground. I think that's a cool idea. I think it's executed really badly here because you have like 7, like, let's just talk about let's pretend the pistol's the only gun in the game for a bit, right? You have like 7 bullets in that you can't fire fast enough with the tiny little jump you have to ever really use unless you did some sort of weird ultra frame perfect timing or whatever, and it just doesn't come into it other than that, right? So say you only had 2 shots in it that you had to touch the ground to reload, but each of those shots was really big and powerful. You could think much more clearly about how you're going to use them, and you'd be able to clear simple gaps very easily. Oh, but my challenge, where's my challenge gone? Doesn't matter, because then you put the challenge back in by creating difficult gaps to get around. Maybe you have a gap that does, like, I don't know, maybe you have something like this with like a big spiky trap, and you've got to like fall down and then shoot and then shoot and then, like, you know, double jump or whatever to get over this. You create difficult environments and jumps to get around. That's where your challenge comes from, and it's still fun because the movement is fun and the movement is satisfying, and it doesn't feel like you're moving that amount of the screen every time you actually press a button and interact with it, because you're playing a game. When you press buttons in your game, you want to get feedback from the world, all right? You want to get feedback from the game. You want the game to respond to the input. You got you, the player. Here's you playing the game. You playing the game on your controller device. You're playing the game, having a grand old time. You got the game on the screen. You're pressing buttons on here. You're pressing buttons on here, and that's sending things to the screen. And then screen shows lights and colors and sounds, and that sends things back to you. Okay? And if you're doing this, if you're pressing these buttons and you're not getting enough of this back from the screen, then you're not having fun. Right? Okay. It's not a gameplay loop. It's like the game. It's feedback. It's the game feel loop kind of thing, right? It's difficult. I'm not finding all the words I want to make this point, but do not get it in your head that, like, when your control system is bad, it can be equated with being challenging. Okay? That can be the case for certain types of game. QWOP, as I've mentioned a few times, there's probably other examples. There definitely are loads of examples of that kind of thing. But the game centers around that. It doesn't really have environments that you need to navigate, and it is just like it's just a running game with a really complex system for like moving your legs to try and walk. And the whole idea is like it's a game about struggling to walk, and that's the whole thing. This isn't a game about struggling to jump. It doesn't feel that way. It's a game with an action game with a guy with a gun and he's got dudes to fight. And you want to feel good and get feedback and blow up enemies and jump over gaps. But when I try and interact with the game in that way, it doesn't give me anything back. I'm like, okay, press jump, and I get this just. I press jump and I press a button and I get just this little dribble. This little dribble back from the game that says like, oh yeah, we kind of recognize you pressed something. And I shoot. The bullets were good. The bullets, like those were cool because then I press the shoot button and I get this like big yellow thing that comes out in the muzzle flash. And that's like sending this big old thing back in my face, and I'm like yeah, like I'm shooting a gun. That's good. That's fun. But I shoot and I hit the dudes though. Nothing happens. The bullets of the thing hit the thing, and I see that. And I'm like, nothing is happening. So that the input I'm putting into the game is not bringing stuff back out. You know? Low levels enemies doesn't suggest that the game is challenging. It can't. Yeah, that's also sort of what I'm getting at. The levels look like they should be easy. It just looks like a gap from A to Z. I should be able to just cross this gap or get up this hill easily. Oh, but I can't. It's a struggle. You need no, please stop. Stop defending it. I know. Oh yeah, it would feel very satisfying to do the really, really hard thing. You can still have that. Okay, making the jump rate better. You can still have like really cool timings where you do like a bunch of these things in a row and play like some really hard thing. Okay, you can have that and still have a game that people can play and enjoy that don't require them to invest all that time, because why the hell should they? Right? If your game can only be enjoyed by the peak of players who've like mastered this like really tight like recoil timing, that again is a thing you could have anyway with the game still being actually playable. Like, and less of a struggle to move around by making the environments more difficult and stuff like that. If only those people can enjoy it, nobody will enjoy it because nobody is going to think it's worth investing the time to get there. Why should they believe you? Why should they see you say, oh yeah, it's really cool and you get the hang of it, when it feels at the beginning to just be such a struggle? There's nothing in the game suggests it's going to be rewarding to master. You know, it suggests that when you finally do master it, you're going to go, oh, finally, I got over this small gap. Right? You can have that. You can have that like that design thing of having like look at the game I'm making. Look at friggin' PokeyPoke. Right? This isn't for me to be like, oh, look at what a good designer I am or anything, but like this is a relevant case. Oh, let's ignore the fact there's a weird bug with this at the moment and the frame rate is dying on my machine for some reason. Does it? Okay. Ignore the fact that I suck and my demo on Steam for me has this really weird frame rate drop issue. But I'm gonna load PokeyPoke. So I want to talk about this. I know it's like we've got, well, how many other games we got to do? 3. It's okay. We can spend some time on this. This is an important point I'm going to be making. Not just for Jayden, I'm not just trying to rip on him or his game or anything like that. It's an important point because a lot of people have this kind of reaction when I talk about these sort of things, about like, oh, well, you know, it's meant to be challenging. How do I balance my desire to make the game challenging with, you know, like making sure people can play it? From project. Oh, this is the wrong version of GameMaker open as well. I'm not doing great with this. I need the beta version. I'd rather you didn't, Wilson. I'm just trying to keep this like focused rather than like just a whole variety of like tips and things. Oh my god, I just want to make a point. Go into last pass. I hope you're starting to get what I'm saying. I don't know how I can make it much clearer. But like people really get stuck in this trap of but like when you master this one specific thing that I know how to do with this game, it's like it's real fun, I promise. And you can still have that. You can still have it. Because what I could do is then compare this version of PokeyPoke to the original Jam version. That's a great comparison. Might even do that, just because. Because it's a good comparison, because the original Jam version has some similar problems to your game, in that its version of the form doesn't have. Looks, stop it! Just. Ugh. You were vlogging what? Oh, what's going on now? Can't even run PokeyPoke. Of course, all this like gets in the way when I just want to make a simple point. Can't even run my own goddamn game. What? It's a screwed up creation order. It must have done, right? Right, what we're gonna do. I don't know why that's there, but it's clearly some creation order thing that's screwed up. What's instance creation order? Or is room order screwed up? That would probably make more sense. Yeah, if that's not even there. Oh god. What has Game Maker done? I'm not even updated it though, so I don't know what the. This is still like that last beta, so it should just still be fine. This is the right. Maybe I loaded an old version there? Did I go local? Maybe I just did it in a hurry? I'm sure this is working. Anyway, I want to make this point still, not just for JDad or whatever. I think he probably understands what I'm saying by now, but just for everyone as well, generally, because it is so common. What the fuck? Is it just going to a different room? It's like it's not initializing. Maybe I can fix it by doing some sort of like room. Because I know that'll get just called, right? I feel like my project's gone corrupted or something stupid. Now, this is no longer Feedback Friday. This is Sean noticed PokeyPoke is just broken for some reason. I'm going to try one thing real quick. If it doesn't, we'll just move on. That's really friggin' annoying. I didn't modify any of those things. Project was created in an older IDE. Did I? I didn't think I updated this. Did I accidentally update this? Christ, who knows? Right, well, we can't run that. That's frustrating. Deeply frustrating. Is there a version I just have on here somewhere? Build. Okay, this is like a super old build. Super old. But it can be enough to make the point. GMS 2 is written in C#, yeah. Wow, this is really old. Christ. So this is old, so I've probably done things to make this feel even better since. But like, I used to have this like do like when you jump from here, it does like a really little jump, and it would be a bit like this for climbing up. And it just felt crappy. So now it's like, no, you can just jump really big. Oh, but doesn't that make it less challenging to climb? Like you time it better and stuff like that. No, it just makes it better. Just makes it better and more fun. And if I want any challenge that gets removed by making it easier to move around with this stuff, can just be added back in the environment. You don't lose anything by making your controls better, ever, really. It's such a misnomer. And this is a game with difficult controls that are difficult to master. So it's like, well, you have all this power. Oh, stupid buggers with that. You have all this power of being able to just grab like any surface or whatever. Oh, the game's so easy now. You can just grab everything and climb it. No. Because now I just make a horrifying corridor full of spikes and limitations. And suddenly you've got to do weird stuff. Like, you've got to bounce around that corner and use the controls in a very specific way to do a specific thing. It's not difficult to get up a small hill, you know? Come out here. I don't think trials were even in this one. This is proper old. Old diamonds and everything. Yeah, this build is absolutely ancient. But like, Like, you see what I mean? Like, the controls are, like, you've got quite big jumps, and like, look at this. Like, I gave people the power to do that. Does that just make the whole game stupidly easy? Like, oh, you just jump super high on that thing. No, it's still quite hard because of the environment. But if you're really good at using this, you can actually, like, really capitalize on its power in massive ways. So giving power to the player through the controls does not make the game less challenging in and of itself, because you design based around the power that the player has. You can create stupid nonsense like this. Like that's... I did that in one, but it's not easy. Anyway. Super ancient build. It would have been much more useful to show the recent one, but we wasted enough time now. I would have liked to have shown a comparison to the Jam game as well, but it's spent too much time on it. I wonder why. What? Maybe I've accidentally updated the beta for it. I don't know what's going on with my latest build of PokeyPoke. It seems to have something screwy. I think something screwed up with the room order. Like, because I noticed this in that transition thing I did when I was showing that on stream the other week. Like, it was just loading the wrong room, like, off the bat for no good reason. Wonder what the deal is there. Anyway, we've wasted too much time. People are waiting. Thank you, JDead, for the game, nonetheless. Say we'll be back with another build. I look forward to it. Sorry, I want you to feel like I was just laying into you for ages there. I just really wanted you to get, because it's so important, and so many people make this mistake of the confusing challenge for controls and stuff. Next up is Smells Like Chlorine from I can't say your name, guy. What got a sub from Holtzy earlier? Submit a game. Smells Like Chlorine. Have fun. Play. Win. Build, please. Okie doke. Oh right, as opposed to HTML build. Okay, since you asked. Now I gotta download it. Sorry to have used so much time on that other thing. We'll probably try and cut that out of the YouTube VOD, or some of it, up until where I actually get a build of PokeyPoke going, because then I get into the point I wanted to make. God, that's frustrating. It always breaks, like, they've been fine for ages, and then it breaks the time I want to actually open it and show it just to make a quick point. Alright, what the hell is this game? Smells Like Chlorine, a game by... Let's see, I like this screen. It's cool. I like this weird angle on here with the perspective and the style. See this? Look, you've gone for a nice like weird hand-drawn doodly style here, and then you've kept that for the menu. Careful with green and red, just because common colorblind pairing, although it doesn't really matter. It's pretty extraneous as a thing here for the sake of... I can read, so I know what they're going to do, right? I don't really need the color coding. It's been about 2 months since I started working here. It's a menial job and pays even less than my previous job. Oh well, I just really need the money. I can't just stay home all day. I wonder if this text is bigger than, or smaller than it would normally be, but my monitor is really big, I'm not sure. It's like Mary said, I need to provide for my family, whatever it takes. People here might not be very nice to me, but I need to do my best to keep this job, which other company would even hire an old man like me. I want to go in here. Oh! Oh, hang on, is my joystick doing something here? Hang on. I think this is taking some input from my my joysticks, or like maybe the throttle or something, and it was just got me caught on rotating to the right. Employee of the month. Is that me? Or just some other guy? A receptionist person? Finally, you're here. You're supposed to start later than we do. But you better not ever be late. God damn. Okay. Aggressive. Take out the trash in the administrator's office. Take the trash. Okay. Take out the trash in various places. Okay. Uh-oh. Well, profits, you don't want the profit line to be going down, but stock's going up. Get back to work. Quite a lot of like detail in this environment. It's quite nice. The style is good. I like it. It's like a coherent kind of like loose, messy sort of thing. Like you could argue about the font of the text at the bottom, but I think it makes sense to use a cleaner font there so it's readable. And it's good that it's a sans serif font. It could possibly be better, but like it's the best place to have a different font, I think. See, like none of this text is being forced on me. I can just choose to engage on it at my own energy level. I like the way the text is like superimposed on the world as well. Good, like, you know, like that. It's good. Where was it? Next to the... Oh, right. You said it was archive. Weirdly labeled then. You knew that yourself because you had to correct me, but... To corridor. Damn grim. Sound effects. I kind of like the voice one as well, just because it's like, if you're going to do a thing like that and you're not going to put loads of time in it, just make it like low and mumbly is a good idea, because it's soft and it doesn't grate. Two corridor instead of the two car. I'm not sure what you mean, but looks like he knows what he means. Lightheaded though. You're getting chlorined out by something. Grim. Grim. Unless I don't have to clean the actual toilets for some reason. Uh-oh. Take the mop with me to be intimidating. F. Aww. Hey, you know they're firing me? They're firing. Yeah. Open. Oh, it just says open door now. Guess I'll clean this mess and go. I want to steal all the pens or something. Profits. Oh man, if I ever order an office or something, I'm definitely gonna put a motivational poster on the wall that just says profits and a huge profits. Ooh. Okay, I wasn't expecting this. Coffee is actually all the co-workers, and I've murdered them all. Employee of the month in November. For some reason I get that now, but like I just read it as like, oh, November's a funny name. Oh, all the people here are named after months. How strange. This was delivered in a very cool way. So like, I like how it opened so mundanely, right? A lot, like, I played a few games people submit trying to do like creepy, weird, surreal, non-Euclidean stuff going on, but they always open too fast or go in way too hard with it. They try it's always a bit too much. This kept it really mundane for a really, really long time, and then decided to hit you with it at a good moment. Can I just go back all the way around? Ah! It's good. Well considered. Lock on the bathroom door, what did it teach me? Oh, weird screen stuff going on as well. It's a brick wall. Oh, January? Was it go up to 12? Okay. 1. A red. Yeah, you're giving hints because I'm taking a while, fair enough. June. Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June. 6? I don't know if that's the right yellow, but we'll put it to 2 for now, just in case. And find that blue. Oh, that blue's there. Jan, yeah. I want dark red. Oh, that's the right yellow. March 3. November. 11 and 3. Bit of like... I'll come back to that. Oh. Okay. It's alright. Bit confusing at first, but decent enough payoff. It really doesn't actually tell me to clean these things, but I felt compelled to. It's my job that I've been fired from. But door behind one of them is kind of cute. Yeah, you raise a good point. I bet I can though. I can't clean the big stains. I was joking earlier when I said I've actually killed everyone, but maybe I have. See you, vegancube. Oh, brown is getting up as the same colour as the wall guard. I think it's fine. I'm digging the colours generally. Or is the puzzle to always pick the out of order door? I'll just finish the game first. Screen is getting very intense. Get back to work. Say what again? Oh no. No, it's okay, I'm just gonna leave. This room is still... it is still unclean. Escape. Is that meant to be like that? No, just go home. Good day at work. That was great. I enjoyed that. The puzzle was a risk. I liked it. I liked the puzzle in and of itself, but as part of the experience, it was a bit of a risk. I think it worked out because it was like simple enough. But like you had like a real momentum that was building at that point. The things getting weird and going wrong. That then suddenly you interrupt with a puzzle that relies on me solving the puzzle to keep the momentum going. You really put your pace at risk when you do that. I think it worked out. I don't know how that might be for all players, but I think in my case, I think it worked out, and I think it was fine. But it was a risk. But generally speaking, artistically, narratively, and executionally, like it was all solid. Like it was. I don't really have a major criticism of it. It's good. I mean, like it's a little bit predictable, but I don't know. I think it's fine. Like I don't think it's super necessarily like deep or like meaningful as a story. It's a simple story that's I think it's very well executed. I think it's my general comment on this. Oh, I didn't even notice this just eventually comes down all dark. That's cool. A lot of nice little touches. It controls really well. Like it's really just easy to move around, easy to open the doors. It feels smooth. Everything about it is smooth and easy to get through. It's clear what it wants you to do. The puzzle was a risk, but I'm kind of glad you took it. I think it just added something a little more interesting along the way. But you could argue that it was kind of off theme in a way. Like I don't know. It was an interesting moment. I think it worked out, but it's a hard call to make. Aesthetically, I think nailed it. I think it's fine. I think you could maybe criticize that the font you used for the text, the dialogue was like a bit small and a little bit off theme, but I think it was appropriate to pick something that was readable, so I think that was an okay compromise. Yeah, I just think it's pretty good. on the whole, well done. It's a good example, I think, of good execution for that type of story, where you want to do a dark, weird, surreal twist. Because I honestly didn't really feel like one was coming for a while. I didn't really know what it was going to get into. Maybe it was going to be some sort of puzzle thing. Maybe it was going to turn into a thing that was like, maybe it was going to turn into a puzzle game. Maybe it was going to turn into a game where I have to get a new job or perform really well as a janitor in order to keep my job or something like that. You didn't really know where it was going to go. Which made it more effective when it takes interest in. I would take this stuff out of your description. Honestly, I'd let it, because I think it's more effective the less you know. Yeah, a lot of games that want to do that sort of thing open with the weirdness right away, and they don't really know how to deliver on that mystique. And you got a good eye for that in there. That's good. Well then, thank you for that one. It was very cool. Yeah, for what it was and the experience I was trying to deliver, if anything, the puzzle was the worst part. But it was executed well enough and cleanly enough that it didn't actually become a serious negative. But just because it interrupts the flow and does something in a way like when weird stuff is starting to happen, I'm like, oh crap, and I'm moving with momentum because I want to see what's going on. I want to see what's around the next corner. Surprising things are going on. I'm looking around, I want to see. And I want to be like, oh, puzzle. Oh, okay. Let's stop thinking about all the cool momentum and the cool sound effects and things that are going on. Let's solve the puzzle. You know, it like takes you out of it a little bit. But it was sad. It mostly worked. It was held. It was held together by the good execution of it. Another game from JDead404, Jony's Radical Hiking this time. Oh wait, isn't this just the same game? Or did you submit it twice? This is the same game, isn't it? Yeah, it is the same game. You just actually submitted it twice. In which case, that was the last game, I think. And we are done. Thank you, everybody, stopping by for Feedback Friday number 2 billion. Or 2,000,000,001, something around there. That was a good game to end on. It was very good. A lot of cool stuff today. It was very fun. I do these every Friday, so if you're new here, what we do is every Friday around UK time, 2 o'clock-ish, 1 to 2. It seems to be getting later, but we'll try and pull that back a bit so it's more in like the back to being the 12 to 2 range rather than like the 1 to 2 range every time. UK time, I start the stream and then we usually open the form till we get about 10 responses. Sometimes we get loads and we get like 30 people trying to get the game in, and it's a shame we can't play them all. Some days like today it's a bit more chill. It took us a while to get to like 7, or I think maybe 6 we ended up playing in the end there. But that's cool because then we get to spend more time on the games. And yeah, so if you want to see your game played here and you want some feedback on it or whatever, that's what you have to do. You just have to be there at the start of the stream. It's tricky. I don't even know how I managed to get any audience for it at all, given the times that it is and also the time zones of my audience and things like that. But it's kind of one of the only ways I know how to do it in a way that like gets that live element of it. You know, where people are in the chat and we can talk about the game and so on and so forth. It's possible maybe I do a thing in the future. I've thought about it where you know, we take some submissions externally and then I play them maybe live, but maybe not live. I don't know. As like a thing for basically something for people who can't get to the stream, because I know that's probably quite a lot of people. Maybe we take one game a week or something that we open with each week, that's like from just YouTube submissions that I know people who can't make it to the stream, and we just sort of mix it in there. I'm thinking about how I might try and do something like that. Sorry I haven't really been in any like tutorial videos and stuff as of late. Getting to it, I swear. Been very busy. Secret project, all that nonsense. Shout out to all my Patreon supporters for keeping me going. We will get there. The next tutorial video, I can tell you the topic, is going to be saving and loading games using a Gaming Studio 2.3's new tech. That's structs and the new features for arrays that basically make it so arrays and structs together fundamentally replace DS maps and lists, which we've all just learned how to use with JSON. Now there's a better way of doing it. So you're going to get to learn about that. Anyway, I hope you look forward to that. Thank you all for stopping by. I hope you all had a good time. Thank you again, Holtzy, dropping subs on people, is very cool. And I'll see what. Oh, we also might be doing some Final Fantasy streams as well in the evenings at some point in the next few days. I've not done many of those lately, and I want to get that. I want to carry on with that No Materia run. It's a lot of fun. So follow the Twitch thing if you haven't already. Thank you to everyone who has. I've seen a few of those. I don't think I've responded to them while we've been streaming. I've not been hearing the sound. Maybe I need to turn it up. But thank you. Happy, Hippie Hippo, Wilson Wan, Crav Led, Dechu, Diana Plays Games, Beowulf661, Doki Doki, everyone who's hit follow. Thank you very much. Anyway, that's me. Catch you all whenever I catch you all next. Cheers, guys. See you later.